Okay, so here we go. Chapter 10. Let's see what Ellie does. When we left off, she had just left Miss Sullivan's house, whom she learnt was a famous actress named Rudy Fairchild, who played in lots of movies. She promised to keep her secret, but she gave her some advice, and she said it can't always be about you, reminding her that she needed to listen to her friends, too. So let's see what this brings for Chapter 10. Make things right. Ellie rode home on her bike, thinking the whole way she felt a lot better thanks to Mrs. Sullivan. She still dreamed of being a star, but she realized something important. Being a star would mean very little without friends. "Dinner in 15 minutes, Ellie," Ellie's mom called as she came in the front door. "Okay," replied Ellie, running upstairs. She had just enough time. She needed to get some things down on paper. In her room, Ellie sat down at her desk. She took out 3 sheets of her special stationery. She chose a pretty red pen and began to write a note to Liz. Ellie wrote a similar note to Marion and another to Amy and selected a special sticker to seal each envelope. Next, she wrote her friends' names at the front of each envelope. Feeling hopeful, Ellie tucked the note into her backpack. Then she headed downstairs for dinner. Okay, sorry about that. My son wanted to ask me a question. That's why it took me so long to figure out if it was still recording. But we're just going to pick right back up. The next morning, Ellie got to school a little early and left the note on her friend's desk. Then she sat down at her own desk and took out a book. Ellie pretended to read it, but really she was peeking over the top when Liz came in. Ellie watched her go to her desk. She saw the note and opened it. She was reading it. Oh, what's she thinking? Ellie wondered. She didn't have to wonder very long. Liz looked over at Ellie. Slowly, a warm smile spread across Liz's face. Ellie smiled back. Mrs. Sienna was starting class, but Ellie watched Marion and Amy read their note, too. Amy smiled and gave Ellie a thumbs up. Marion looked over and mouthed some words to Ellie. "I'm sorry, too," she was saying. Ellie nodded and smiled. She let out a happy sigh. It was like a weight had been lifted off of her. The morning sped by. At lunchtime, Ellie met up with her friends in the hallway. "Can you forgive me?" she asked them. "Of course," Ellie said Liz. The girls wrapped Ellie in a big group hug. My hair is a little crazy right now. "We're like sisters," said Amy. Marion nodded. "Even sisters argue sometimes, but they always make up." Ellie beamed. "Well, then, I have a favor to ask," she said. She looked at Liz. "Can I come over after school? I'd love to see your prize-winning painting. I'm so proud of you, Liz." "Oh, yeah," cried Marion. "You have to see it. She's got a blue ribbon, a blue first-place ribbon and everything," Liz laughed. "Yes, of course, you can definitely come over and see it." "I can't wait," Ellie cried. "Oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys. I had an idea. It's about the bunnies. I think I know how to get people to adopt them." Chapter 11. Bravo, Ellie. I believe this is the last chapter, too. The Santa Vista Elementary School auditorium was packed. It was Friday night, the night of the big play, Miss Ladybug Saves Spring. The show sped by number, and before long the play was almost over. Ellie and her castmates had performed their roles perfectly. Now the red velvet curtains opened one last time for the big finale. Flower dancers twirled around, butterflies fluttered on tiptoes, inchworms inched in time to the music. Dancing raindrops swung their legs up and down. Last to come on stage was Ellie, Miss Ladybug. She moved gracefully towards the front of the stage. The airy fabric of her sleeves fluttered behind her. There was something else behind her, too. A little red wagon. Miss Ladybug held its handle and pulled it along. Inside, munching on lettuce, were 3 gray bunnies, Floppy, Fluffy, and Frosty. From the audience came a great big "Aww!" Ellie slowly pulled the wagon across the stage. The audience read the sign on the wagon's side. Then Ellie carefully handed the wagon to someone off stage. The finale continued, building until the whole cast was on stage. They lined up in a row. One by one, each cast member took a bow. The crowd got to its feet, clapping and cheering. As the lead, Ellie was the last to take her bow. The spotlight fell on her. She looked out into the audience. Everyone was there. She saw her mom and dad, Toby and Nana Gloria cheering. Behind them, Liz, Marion, and Amy waved at Ellie. Liz even whistled. Then, from down in the front row, a figure approached the stage. It was Mrs. Sullivan. She handed up to Ellie a huge bouquet of red roses. "Bravo, Ellie," she called out. Ellie felt on top of this world. This was her moment. She had dreamed about it, but in her dreams she had only seen herself. The real moment was a million times better, and Ellie realized why. It was because her friends were there to share it with her. And that's the end. And so the next book is Liz Learns a Lesson. So we'll start that after we do another Geronimo. So you guys enjoy. What did you think of this book? What do you think of the four friends? They're a dynamic foursome together. Let me know. Leave it in the comments.